In May 2019, when the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari was inaugurated for the second term, he set out to continue on the path of economic growth through infrastructural development, which played a major role in enhancing the nation's recovery from recession, which had set in before its inauguration earlier in 2015. The objective of growing the economy through massive infrastructural development has to a great extent been achieved, as can be seen in various sectors. However, the most noticeable area is in road development, where several hundreds of kilometers have been constructed. In every state in the Federation, roads are either being built or rehabilitated. In some cases, these roads go for hundreds of kilometers, while in others, palliative measures or full rehabilitation is being carried out. The Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola SAN, promised that his ministry will not only construct or reconstruct roads, but will complete the roads with appropriate road furniture like milestones, road signage, lane markings, and so on. These are things that have not been seen on our federal roads for years. The Honorable Minister noted that this will help Nigerians travel safely, plan their journey better, and know exactly where they can find what they may need during their journey. He explained that this is a standard international practice to help even a visitor navigate his way around the country with the help of a map and eliminate the inconvenience of several stops to ask for directions.
The federal roads are designed to global international standards. They've always been. The fact that we have not in the past executed what is called the road furniture component of the contract doesn't mean that they were not always there. As you probably know, before this administration under President Buhari, the funding even for road construction was such a miserly sum of about 18 billion. So perhaps we couldn't even get to completing roads, not to talk of then thinking of installing the furniture, the lane marking, and the road signage, which is where we seek to be now, start completing some of the roads that have been under construction for a bit. That's one reason. Secondly, it's to help commuters get a sense of how far they have to travel when they set out on their journeys, how far they have come, and to help them time rest as may be, to help them time fueling as may be, to help them get a measure of whether it is important to continue for that day or to find a place to spend the night. Of course, going forward, rest houses as part of our road support systems will develop.
This is a promise kept. As in every geopolitical zone in the country, Nigerians are beginning to see not only good federal roads, but roads that have clear lane markings and road signs. This has helped road users in so many ways. Journey time has reduced, as we now have better federal roads, and the risk of stopping in unknown places to ask for directions is saved, as clear signage of federal roads has made it easy for one to find his way around. With these markings and signage, help can quickly get to a distressed commuter, as rescue operators can get to the exact spot without stress. These factors and more have greatly impacted positively on travel experience in Nigeria, which has greatly improved.
You discover that sometimes you don't know a direction, but when you look at the board, it gives you the directions that you take and make you to know the name of a particular place. Maybe you are confused, but it will because of the sign, because of the name written boldly on it, you will now know, and for you to know the kilometer that you are going to cover.
A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run fún ìrànlọ́wọ́ tí àwọn ìjọba ń ṣe láti máa tọ́ àwọn ènìyàn sí ojú ọ̀nà. A rí pé tí mọ́tò wa bá ń bọ̀ láti Abuja tó bá dé junction bí báyìí, a rí nǹkan tí ìjọba ṣe fún wa tó jẹ́ welcome to Ilésà. Ó jẹ́ kó jẹ́ ìtọ́sọ́nà fún àwọn onímọ́tò tá a fi ní problem láti lè yà sí Ilésà. Ìdí èyí a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìjọba fún ìrànlọ́wọ́ tó ń ṣe fún wa láàrin yẹn.
The signage is actually helpful for the commuters and those who are not even from this community to know where they are going to and to know how many kilometers that is left to where they are going to. So it's actually helpful. And even when the project was going on, most of the people around here made a source of living from it. So they came to sell food and they made so much money from it.
But it's very good well. You make you to understand and where the axis of the area is. This is where my car stop. And this is where I am. I'm in social kilometer. For example, now we are in Abuja now 24 kilometers to inside Abuja. Then it will detect them that we are in 25 kilometers in Abuja. By the time it's near you, we know. So the thing is good.
It helped me very well because even if I did not know town, it will show you a sign that so kilometer you will be in so town, and you will be seeing name of villages. So I enjoy traveling by road.
Thank God that we have road signs. When you get to the junction, to the sign, you will know that this is a sharp bending. They have to slow down your speed limit. And in terms of the goodness of the road, at least this very way is one of the best roads you have in this area.
Muna jin daɗin wannan road sign da aka mana, yana taimaka mana a hanyar nan saboda duk inda zamu je muna sanin ina zamu je. Muna jin daɗi, to muna godiya ga gwamnatin tarayya da wannan aiki nata. Muna so kuma ta ƙara himma akan wannan aiki da take mana na alkhairi.
Like you can see, the importance cannot be overemphasized. Right from this location, you know you are 70 kilometers away from Abakaliki. You are 50 kilometers away from Ezangu. Before now, these things were not available. So if you are driving on the federal highway, you are like you are in the blues.
As it is commonplace with the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing and their approach towards executing contracts like this, a mutually beneficial payment plan has been reached between the ministry and contractors who are Nigerians. While several of these contracts have been concluded, some are still ongoing and others have just been awarded and work will start soon. The target is to cover as much federal roads as possible with an even spread across all geopolitical zones. So far, a total of 1,240 route assurance signage have been installed across the geopolitical zones in the country. This is in addition to regular traffic signs that have been provided on all federal roads. These contracts have positively affected the financial profile of Nigerians from communities around where the projects are sited. Quite a number of them have been employed by contractors, and several other small businesses have sprung up due to the presence of workers on site.
There are quite a lot of advantages that spinners I would get from this kind of thing. First of all, doing the job, of course, there's a lot of stimulation. We stimulate the economy too, and we're employing people, who also be of economic benefits to their families. But on the societal level, I think the great thing is that, it's always great to drive along the road and you can be able to predict exactly your direction or how long you are from your destination. For every motorist, it's an exciting opportunity to know that, look, I'm 25 kilometers and 30 kilometers away from my final destination. So a lot of people will have this information. These are very basic international standards that are required for motorable roads. And we thank God that the Federal Ministry of Works has taken the bold step to signpost or put this kind of road signages too on our road. So we think on societal level, it's a lot of advantage for the motorists, for those driving, and there's a lot of advantage. And of course, for the economic purpose, it stimulates the economy, generates jobs, and puts more funds within the system.
The State Controllers of Works of the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing personally supervise these projects to ensure that the best quality work is delivered and the contracts are executed according to specifications. They also ensure that contractors engage workers from the surrounding communities and that jobs are created through this process.
These provisions are being made from a special unit in the highway department. So when we talk of a special unit, people are definitely going to man this unit. And a job is being created through giving out contracts to people to go and place those signages and to make sure the road markers are there and are being maintained on an annual basis. And that creates a lot of employment apart from the actual building of the road.
Each of these, with the artisans, not less than 43 people were employed. And now we're having 36 lots. So if you multiply, 36 by 43, you are getting something like 1,908 direct and indirect employment.
This road signs now, people will come to produce it, they will manufacture it, artisans, it's a chain. And a lot of people will have jobs. Even people who are producing and installing, they will want to buy akara from people. It's a chain. It empowers the economic line very powerfully.
Materials for signage and paints for lane markings are all locally produced to reduce costs and to create jobs for Nigerians. The Federal Road Safety Corps factory in Abuja produced all the road signs used on our roads, making this project 100% Nigerian.
Where we are now is that just by committing to this, we have first of all revived the Federal Road Safety Commission plant in the FCT, where most of our materials are produced. What we did was to first standardize all of the designs of signages and road directional signs that we wanted to use. We developed a manual for the length of the poles, the depth of the plinth, the quality of paper that will be used for the signage, and its reflective capacity. We also agreed on the quality of paint, the thermoplastic paint that will be used for lane marking. It was after we did this that we now awarded the subcontracts to various contractors. So it might interest you to know that it takes about 14 people doing different things to complete the successful installation of one highway directional sign. And several dozens are employed in lane marking. So what you then find now is that for every signage you see, multiply by 14 the number of people who are employed there. And that gives you the number of people who have benefited and those who are now working full-time in the FRSA plan.
For uniformity, I procured from the Federal Road Safety Commission. They have a standard that is 1.8 meters by 2. It's designed such that it will be visible to motorists. Then they have to be installed on 2.5 meter poles so that they can be on the height that is clear to the drivers. And then in the ground, they are about 800 millimeters embedded in the ground. They are seated on weather plates and then reinforced with reinforced concrete inside the ground. So that's the specification of what we are doing.
So far, the signages on the directions have been completed from Shagamu to Ajebandele. The road markings are yet to be started because the construction of the road is still ongoing.
provides safety, it provides efficient use of the road and convenience to the road user, you know. But I tell you, this is also an economic infrastructure. You'll be surprised that this signage of this route assurance sign alone, about 64 of them were planted here.
Contractor engaged services of the locals, mainly digging and casting of concrete support surrounding the poles, and people selling food were patronized, and they were able to disseminate information, and even the locals could appreciate the essence of having the road signages, giving out information, especially travelers, as per the length of road they still need to cover to get to their destinations.
This signage was well constructed and well done, and actually the communities, they had input in it. We took local content into consideration by employing the communities where the signage were installed. In terms of labor, we also, materials were bought from them, concrete, that is cement and granite and everything, and they were well taking care of it. In fact, the community appreciated this noble effort done by the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing.
Road construction and rehabilitation takes time and effort, even if all the money needed is available. Nigerians should be rest assured that as time goes on, more federal roads will be constructed or rehabilitated with appropriate lane markings and road furniture all over the country. This is imperative if we must achieve easy and seamless transportation of goods, services, and people. This will translate to better traveling experience for everyone if the government is doing this for the people of Nigeria. It then behoves on us, therefore, to do our part by ensuring that we stop those practices that could lead to rapid deterioration of our federal roads.
Overloading is one major problem that we have, and every road has a design capacity and specification. And when it is therefore not used in the way that it is designed to be used, then you transfer from use to abuse. And we all then know that abuse is improper use that gives very negative consequences, and this affects the lifespan of the road. So one of the things we're doing first is that we are trying to ensure now that we upgrade the quality of design, because we see that we have been largely dependent on roads to haul a lot of cargo that should have been on rail. We have also revised our standards of bitumen now to what we call polymer modified bitumen, PMB, to increase the carrying capacity of some of our roads. But in spite of that, people must just comply with the axle load regulations that have been signed by the president into law and that is applicable across the whole of the ECOWAS. We will begin soon to enforce overloading regulations, anti-overloading regulations, so that people pay very, very severe penalties for overloading their vehicles. And they will find out that in the long run, it will be more expensive to overload and cheaper to comply. We also see that some people park their vehicles and their trucks on the shoulder. First of all, the shoulder is supposed to be for temporary use, not a permanent car park. The shoulders of the road are the sides of the road. It's not made for permanent parking.
The first term of the Muhammadu Buhari administration was a time of massive road construction in Nigeria at a scale that this country had not experienced for a very long time. In spite of constraints, both financial and otherwise, the pace of work on these projects have not slowed down as many more projects are being completed in all the geopolitical zones of the country. Today, journey time experience is much better than it was some years ago, and from all indications, this administration will intensify financing construction of more federal roads in every nook and cranny of Nigeria.
You will find out in some villages, they will come and create bombs, what they call speed bombs. Anyhow, without any design, they will, and without anyone giving them any authority, they will just create speed bombs. Sometimes they carry diggers and dig and make the speed bombs. And that area constitute a very place where failure will start. So these are kind of behaviors that we try to urge people to stop, because these roads are made for them for their own ease of movement, to carry their farm produce to wherever they want to carry, to travel and commute around.
Well, it's going to cover all of Nigeria, let me say that, but we have started with those roads where substantial progress in construction has been undertaken. There are roads that are just starting, there are roads that have not reached halfway, there are roads that are nearing completion. So most of those roads where you see them now are those roads where we have made some progress. Eventually, we will cover the entire country.
We have 2 contracts on the signage between Onitsha and Owerri border. The road signs have been installed at 6 locations. And the importance of the signage, like everybody knows, it allows you to know where you are going, and for safety too. It's good for safety.
Apart from distance signs about how many kilometers to what destination, we are also installing town and village signs, naming towns and villages, so that you know where you are, so you don't just drive past. So even if you are in any need for any difficulty and you need help, it is also then helpful to be able to tell us, I am at this town, or I just passed that town, or I am at kilometers so, and so. And that is helpful to get help to you. And this is part of also the value that the government puts on human life. So it's not just about arms and security. It's also about small things like this that help all of the rescue and recovery architecture, ambulances, emergency, life support come together. Because if we can't find you, we can't help you.
For a very long time, Nigerians have not seen so much investments in the construction of federal roads. Some roads, like the Jeba-Mokwa Road, which was abandoned for decades in spite of its economic importance, is now wearing a new look. Now, the journey that used to take days with all its hazards can be done in about an hour. This is an indication of an administration that places high premium on promises made to the people.